is the best ladybug I've ever served.
We are also very lucky that the guardian of the Miracle Box agreed to it too.
Welcome back to another video, my fellow Miraculous Ladybug fans. I can't believe that we're in the new year and one day closer to the next season. From everything I've seen about Season 6, I couldn't be more excited to dive into this new chapter of the series. Marinette and Adrien have never looked better, and I'm ecstatic about the villain change. I think Lila is going to breathe new life into the series and make it more engaging than ever before. Moreover, the Miraculouses are in a great spot after being handed out to their corresponding wielders. There's bound to be more Kwami interactions in future episodes, which means more lore drops and power-related discoveries. Miraculous Ladybug has a fantastic magic system, but much of it is still shrouded in mystery. There are still many questions about the Miraculouses that haven't been answered, and I desperately hope the 6th season will shed some light on them. In today's video, I'll cover some of the secrets and their importance.
We won't get another opportunity for a long time. See, a Kwami cycle lasts several hundreds of human years.
Number 1. The Miraculouses' origin. Little is known about the history of the Miraculouses. Even Master Fu, who for a fair chunk of the series was the most knowledgeable about the Miraculouses, knew very little about their origins. What we do know comes mainly from the comic line, where he tells Marinette that the Kwamis existed in the universe before humankind but came to Earth and wanted a way to interact with them. To become corporeal to humans, the Kwamis allowed themselves to be bonded with their Miraculouses. The Miraculouses we know from the series were all created by a single mage centuries ago. Nothing is known about the mage as of now, even his name remains a mystery. Fortunately, there are no other people in Miraculous Ladybug who know more about the Miraculouses than their former guardian. Su-Han comes from the Order of Guardians and is the leader among them. I suspect that the Guardian Order has existed since the time the Miraculouses were created and likely possesses extensive historical records about each Kwami, their wielders, significant moments in history they influenced, and knowledge of the mage who created them. At some point in the 6th season, Marinette should sit down with Su-Han and ask about the people who came before her. As a guardian herself, the knowledge should be at her disposal, and she could answer some questions about the mysteries surrounding the Miraculouses. It's also entirely possible that the Kwamis know more than they're letting on and have decided not to talk about the mage who created them. It's interesting that they haven't brought him up once, especially Tiki and Plague, who seem to be older than the rest and the first Kwamis to receive their Miraculouses. There are spells on the Kwamis that prevent them from giving specific information. And the same way they can't speak the name of their wielders, it's possible they can't say the name of the man who created the Miraculouses to protect him and his family.
But how do we choose who stays?
Let's let fate decide.
Yeah, let's do a Kwami Kwahoo!
Number 2. Hidden miraculous powers. We already know that there are additional powers held by the Miraculouses that no one knows yet. After recovering the Miraculouses' grimoire from Gabriel, Master Fu began deciphering old pages and spells that allowed him to power up Tiki and Plague. These power-ups allow wielders to navigate various terrains such as space, water, and ice. Ladybug and Cat Noir use their new abilities frequently throughout the series, especially when they need to fly from place to place. Ladybug and Cat Noir seem to know how to create these power-ups by hand, as they each carry a box with specially baked food for Tiki and Plague. In the 4th season, after becoming the new guardian, Marinette inherited the grimoire and began deciphering its pages. She didn't make much progress, but with help from Alia, she realized that her Miraculous had new abilities she didn't know about yet. The discovery led to her creating the magical charms that protect civilians from Akumas. The creation of these charms weren't detailed in the book, meaning that Marinette discovered a new ability that her predecessors never utilized. I assume this is because the wielders before her weren't up against the Butterfly Miraculous in particular, and had no reason to protect innocence from someone like Gabriel. These discoveries point to new abilities and powers debuting in the future. Not only is there an entire spellbook that Marinette still needs to decode, but each Miraculous is likely capable of new things their wielders have yet to uncover. If the series doesn't introduce any more new heroes, each member of the French superhero team could have a dedicated episode where they learn something new about their Miraculouses. Number 3. Lost Miraculouses. There are many things in Miraculous Ladybug that should receive more attention than they do, and one of those things is the fact that Miraculouses were scattered throughout Earth for decades. There is more than one Miracle Box, each with a dedicated guardian. These guardians seek out and choose wielders when the world is in need of heroes. I assume that wielders were active when Master Fu created Feast, who devoured the entire Guardian Temple. With their guardian and Miracle Boxes gone, any Kwamis left behind would need to fend for themselves and eventually find new wielders after their current ones died to injury, illness, or old age. Aside from Nuru and Dusu, who were separated from the Chinese Miracle Box, there's only one example of a lost Miraculous in the series so far. In Miraculous World, New York, Gabriel tries to obtain the Miraculous of the Eagle, which had once belonged to the Revolutionary War hero Lafayette. As the Eagle Miraculous wasn't devoured by Feast, that means its guardian Monk had given it out or lost track of it. In the special, the hero Sparrow finds the Miraculous and uses it to become a new Miraculous wielder, simply known as Eagle. Monk later arrives in an attempt to recover the Miraculous, as the Guardians have been freed from Feast and began recovering from their century-long imprisonment. But Eagle convinces him to let her keep the Miraculous. Monk had known the Eagle Miraculous was missing and immediately left to find it. If other Guardians had active heroes at the time of their disappearance, then they too will have lost Miraculouses to find.
Hello, fledgling. All you have to say is, Leary, Wings of Liberty!
Leary?
Wings of Liberty!
Number 4. The Miracle Box's true purpose. As far as we know, the Miracle Box's primary purpose is to act as a home for the Kwamis when they don't have a wielder. Assuming the Miracle Boxes were created by the same mage, then he didn't want the Kwamis roaming free and wreaking havoc with their unpredictable powers. From what we've seen of the Miracle Box, it's a place to store Miraculouses and acts as a pocket dimension for the Kwamis. It is large and sparse with minimal furniture or furnishing. However, the Kwamis can store objects inside the box and make a habit of collecting trinkets throughout the ages. When Tiki and Plague go to visit their fellow Kwamis on Nuru's birthday, they bring gifts and add them to a pile of other items. It's worth mentioning that the Kwamis can't leave the Miracle Box without permission from their guardian. The Miracle Box also adapts to the guardian, changing shape, color, and function in accordance to their needs. Since the box seems tethered to guardians and changes based on their needs, I wouldn't be surprised if it had other functions not yet explored in the series. Now that the Chinese Miracle Box is empty and still in the care of Marinette, she could find new use for it or discover that it has a hidden power that will help her in the battles ahead.
Good day to you, noble Kwamis of creation and destruction. Oh, what did you bring? What did you bring?
Number 5. The potential for a supreme Miraculous. Fans were thrown for a loop in the finale of Season 5. Not only did Gabriel obtain the Ladybug and Cat Miraculouses, but he made his wish by summoning a supreme Kwami with unparalleled powers. As it turns out, if Tiki and Plague unify while in their true forms, they become a new Kwami called Gimme. Gimme is the Kwami of reality and can change anything about the world, so long as there is something to replace it. For example, if they brought someone back to life, then someone else would need to die in their place. It possesses godly powers, and it's quite frightening to know it exists in the series canon. Someone as powerful as Gimme begs the question, are there other combinations of Kwamis with similar powers, or is there a supreme Kwami who rules over them all? In the alternate universe, there is an entity known as the Supreme who controls all Kwamis and their Miraculouses. Most assumed that the Supreme is an alternative version of Master Fu who uses them for evil. But it would be fun if the Supreme was actually an all-powerful and inhuman entity.
Only the Supreme defines reality. Reality is the Supreme.
Number 6. Can Kwamis be freed from their Miraculouses? A final question I want to see explored in the 6th season is, can Kwamis be freed from their Miraculouses? The Kwamis are as old as the universe itself and were around to witness the dawn of humanity. Since they couldn't interact with humans, they became desperate to help them, and it gave away some of their freedom to receive Miraculouses. Since then, many of the Kwamis have experienced world-ending events and countless hardships. They've also experienced dozens of lifetimes with different wielders, and have to continuously say goodbye to people they consider friends. It seems like their lifestyle would be incredibly taxing, and after helping protect the world for hundreds of years, I couldn't blame some of the Kwamis if they wanted to cut ties with humanity and return to exploring the outer universe. Such an outcome could be the endgame for Miraculous Ladybug, but for that to happen, the possibility needs to be explored in the main story.
Any Kwami willing to volunteer? The kid has a point. What if an akumatized villain or a Senta monster shows up?
Just talking about the new mysteries and questions has renewed my excitement for the 6th season. I'm one of the fans who believed Miraculous Ladybug needed a fresh perspective and reboot. I'm pleased with how the 5th season ended, and the new direction the story is taking. I'm someone who loves to devour lore and discuss it with my fellow fans, so any episode featuring the Miraculouses and their past would quickly become one of my favorites. I hope the Order of Guardians will have a more pivotal role in the next season, and that they'll shed some light on everything the Miraculouses are capable of.
Why don't you stay here? We could create a new generation of heroes together.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your fear of flying? Select the relaxation level you require.